Greetings, ladies and gentle players. It is the last Friday this December of 2021, making it a wonderful day for basics. But wait, there's more. It is also the last day of 2021, and that makes it a little bit more interesting, because it means we are heading off into the new year, and many of you are probably asking yourselves, how can I be a Don in 2022? Because that's going to be my resolution. I'm going to be a Don player 2022. I just need to know how to get there. Well, fear not, dear viewer. Your answers will be addressed in this video, where I hope to maybe lay a little bit of the groundwork, a roadmap, if you will, that maybe you can use on your path to being a Don player in 2022. But first, I want to thank my sponsors in 2022, all of you fine folks. It is because of you, both subscribed here on Twitch and even more importantly on Patreon, that I get to keep doing the things that I get to keep doing. Regardless of if you just want your name added to the credits of the video, if you're looking for a game review to shoot to my email, you're hooking up for Sundays, simultaneous on Sundays, the last Sunday of the month, or the first Sunday of the month. It depends on the month, and if I remember to tell everybody, it's weird. Or if you're just interested in the review packs, or a lesson, or even regular lessons, or just want to be a full-fledged sponsor, whatever it is you've signed up for. Yeah, you guys let me keep making these videos that you guys are enjoying. I've been told that this is like my 6th year or something on Patreon. So yeah, all the streams, all the videos, literally couldn't do it without your support. So I appreciate all you fine patrons who have been supporting me on Patreon all this time. Thank you very much. Both I and everyone else, I'm sure, appreciates your generosity. But now let's generously get all of you fine folks to Don level. How are we going to do that? Well, this is where I'm probably going to lose a couple of you. Because it is my belief that there has never been a time easier than now to get Don level. You're thinking to yourself, I've been Q long enough. I've had that K next to my name for years and years and years, it feels like. All I want to do this year, the only thing I yearn for is that big fat D. How am I going to get the D? How? How? Well, I think it's pretty easy nowadays. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, it's because of all the resources we have available to us right now. That's why you think it's never been easier to get to Don level. Because of all those fine resources that we can use to parse through all the information we need to know to be Don level. No, not why. Okay, you're probably thinking, all right, hold. If it ain't that, hold, okay, I know this. It's because there are so many teachers out there available that can help you on your journey to get to Don level. That's why it's never been. Nope, not that either. New. Okay, maybe it's because some servers are so easy to get to Don level, right? That's why it's... No, not that either. The reason why I think it is easier now, more than ever, to get to Don level, is quite simply because I think you need to know less now than at any other time. Okay, I can't say that completely, but let's say any other time in like the last 30 years or so to actually be a Don player. And I'm going to defend that. So the reason why I say that is looking from even my own games, right? From when I was a Q, these little guys here, looking from my own games, I saw that I had to deal with things like, and this was common, I'm not going to go through all the games, but it was common for me to, for example, have to know how to deal with the mini Chinese. Not a whole lot of micro at that point. It was common for me to have to know how to deal with the Kobayashi. It was common for me to know how to deal with high pincers of various places. Common to know how to deal with low pincers in various places. It was common for me to have to know how to deal with 2 space pincers when approaching a 3-4, or a low pincer, or even a far pincer, or an attach on the outside of my stone when I approach. As well as, the general back-offs and the attachments. And in each of these positions, you kind of have to know, 2 or 3 variations to make sure that you know what you're getting. And you need to know who's getting sente at the end of those variations, so you could predict how you're going to continue. Oh, and low Chinese too. Almost forgot that one. So you might be asking yourself, well, how does that differ from anything that we're seeing today? And believe it or not, with today's meta, we're not seeing a lot of that stuff. Now, I will admit, I did mark these real quick. So if I can find it. Yeah, like here, I just found this 5Q game that's going on right now. And it looks like, there are some people that do play weird stuff, and that's always going to be the case. Like this guy apparently set up a mini high Chinese. That's weird. Don't remember the last time I saw that. What was this guy? A 5Q. Yeah, 5Q. Set up a weird mini high Chinese kind of thing that the opponent just kind of jumped into. And I mean, that's obviously going to lead to a questionable result, as you can imagine. But, short of some of the outliers that do still play a few things, I'm seeing a lot more of things like, if you approach high, you're going to get the attachment, rather than like all the various pincers or some of the more unusual play. For the most part, you're going to get attached, and so as long as you know what to do here, you're going to be fine in the opening. Or let's see if I can find another example real quick. Yeah, these aren't taking that long to find at all. Like literally, just click on the game, and you're finding like the 3-3 if you play a 4-4 point, right? So as long as you know, hey, I can play this Joseki and I'm fine in the opening, then, you're coasting through there too. A lot less Fuseki going on, a lot less pincering going on. So you get a lot more of this kind of thing. As long as you know the sequence, then congratulations, you're already in mid-game without having, dropped percentages really. Or, I mean, I guess you could also, obviously, fight for sente. It's important to know if you want sente and take advantage of it. Or if you're just fine with whatever and, not so much. Does it have a double 3-3, actually? I'm curious. Wrong Joseki. Yeah, like getting 3-3'd into splitting. Very, very, very meta right now across all the things. I saw a DDQ game that was a little bit of a mess. I won't show it. But yeah, the DDQ game, 3-3 into splitting. This is a 2Q game over here on KGS. So 3-3 into splitting. You see it at Dawn level 3-3 into splitting. So as long as you have some idea of what you're going to do, since your opponents are going to, go ahead and do that to you, then you're done with the opening. You're fine. You're fantastic. Just go ahead and deal with this, and then maybe do an approach onto the 3-4. They'll probably attach or back off, and then you're fine, right? You're off to the races. And now, just because I don't want people saying, "Oh, but I will have you know that thine words doth ring hollow in mine ears," For thou knowest not upon which server my moves are cast. And so I pray thee be gone with thine assumptions. For upon mine server, we play with only the highest of ranks. Mash, 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 mash. Pinkies up. So let's look at I don't know, what do you think? 2Q? Hey, Jerry, that's cool. How you doing? What we got here? I can already tell what we got here. We have a 3-3 in the invasion in the bottom right, an attached Joseki in the bottom left, and insanity on the left, right? Enclose, yep. Approach, back off, space, yep. And then approach, yep. And then do the Joseki, yeah. But how do we get the 3-3 invasion if it's gonna be White's turn? He doesn't make the base any 3-3s now. Ah. Okay. And then, yeah, we have 3-3 invasion. So pretty much what I just said. If you play the approach, you're gonna, usually get attached. Encloses are usually either high 2-space or large knight. A lot of low approaches are getting backed off. I haven't talked about that yet, but I was about to, so you see it there. And then 3-3 here. Admittedly, this is probably better to go and prioritize sente so you can block Black's ability to get a base here. Because you can see that he's just like prepping for an oops. Like here, oh, okay, I guess, well, yeah, here, and then exactly. He's trying to make sure that you can't build off there. So that was a little bit of an oops on his part. Knowing who's getting sente is important when you're picking a Joseki. Here we have a 2Q. His game could have been a lot easier if he was paying attention to get who gets sente. Like if he doesn't want to care about who gets sente, he could just play this way. That way, this Joseki isn't going to be doing much to hurt him. Or if he wanted sente to block the extension, he could have gone ahead and played here into like here. And then that would have been a lot easier on White, in my opinion. But yes, after knowing the Joseki that are going to be coming up constantly, it's over and over and over again, that's the first thing you need to know if you want to get to Dawn play. Like, you memorize Joseki, great. Now, who gets sente from your sequences? Because that's going to be very, very huge in the beginning of the game. Knowing you get sente to take a big move away versus playing a move where your opponent gets sente to make sure they get to keep their big move is huge, especially when they're deviating or trying to be tricksy, Knowing who's getting sente will definitely determine whether they're getting exactly what they're looking for here, like this guy, or if he's going to be a little bit sad, like he'd probably be here, That kind of thing. So yes, after knowing Joseki, which a lot easier to do nowadays because there aren't very many to know at Dawn level. There aren't. There are some outliers that'll throw you through a loop, but really not a whole lot you need to know. Then make sure you know who's getting sente off of those deals, right? Like, if my opponent approaches me, first thing I ask myself is, do I want sente? It's like, sure, why not? I want sente. If I back off and my opponent plays here, it's not sente. I can play away. Easy. If my opponent approaches a 3-4 point, maybe low. Do I want sente? Do I want a part of the board? Maybe the top's big. Maybe I back off to develop it. Maybe I got a strong position on the left-hand side. Maybe I pincer it so I can develop it. You start getting slight ideas on what you're looking to do. That's kind of important at Dawn level. Like identifying a large part of the board, which you had better been practicing all through your Q levels, so that once you're through that, you're looking to rise up out of the Q levels and getting that big D. You know what's important. You know what's not important. If my opponent has This won't make any sense. If my opponent has a large knight here, for example, maybe I'm not going to back off here because developing it when my opponent already has a position doesn't make any sense. But if I have an enclosure here, well, maybe I'll work off the enclosure. I can pincer to extend off my enclosure while putting pressure on this little guy, right? Our moves are starting to tie together. We're keeping an eye on, where we can easily develop and what's threatening. Maybe my opponent has a 3-4 this way. Well, okay, maybe now I just want to back off here. Make it harder for me to get an extension off that enclosure, There's a lot of things that I can do keeping the board in mind. Like, you don't want to not take the board in consideration, right? You don't want to just, close your eyes and be like, all right, I'm going to play a move here. Is that a good move? No, that's not a very good move at all, actually. That would be a pretty bad one. So we need to keep the board, in mind. Like, maybe if I had a stone already over here, it's a wall. Now it's being useful, Got to keep the board in mind because I already have this stone. Then yeah, sure, maybe that's an okay move. But yeah, got to keep your board in mind. So yeah, we need to know the basic technique that we're going to see in our games. Quick recap. Need that one. Need to know who's getting sente off those basic Joseki. That way we can keep planning on what's going on. And we need to know, most importantly, where the biggest moves are on the board so we can plan our responses appropriately. Like we just saw. Easy peasy, easy peasy, easy peasy. Now, for opening, that'll get you through. That's all you need to know for opening. Know that, you're good to go. And given how few moves or how few sequences are common right now, there's never been an easier time to just sail through the opening with just those three principles. Never been easier. Never, ever, ever been easier. Now, there are times, I will admit, there are times your opponent's going to play like a crazy person. And I've found a 6Q versus 7Q game where we're going to need to know mid-game practices to get to Dawn level. Here, we have super aggressive player. White's just trying to chill. I commend that. Black, being a little weird. That is not a Joseki at all. This should, in my mind, be an easy game for White to win. Black wins it. Why does White struggle here? I can already tell you. White's going to struggle with cutting points and liberties. That's going to lose him the game. Nothing else. Cutting points and liberties. Case in point, why are we poking at that cutting point? Why? This wants a base, right? So hypothetically, if we were to... Shut up, I don't care about you, AI. If we were to just take an extension, and this grabs a base, then we can grab another corner. It's pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Got a bunch of territory in sente to pick up a free corner. Oh, that's fantastic. And yet, White did not do this. White is poking at a cutting point for no reason whatsoever because White is failing to look at the big part of the board, not identifying what's large. Because that ain't it. We have sente. We get base. Our opponent needs to get base, or we will probably take the base from them, making them very, very sad. Because now this territory is worth even more since there's no territory here. And yeah, we're happy from that. So anticipate sente, take big point, or lose big point, but our opponent is being a greedy pants, so remove sente. Weak group is worth infinity points, and we'll just harass this for ever and ever and ever. While it makes nothing. If it's lucky, it might make, I don't know, 3 points. While strengthening white, not a good deal. Not a good deal. So alright, we failed that one. Now he's created a weak group. Fantastic. Now he created a weak group. Which means our opponent can attack us and start utilizing our cutting points against us. Because we're just making complication here that there doesn't need to be. The bottom of the board right now is that large thing on the board. And if we aren't keeping in mind what's large and we're fighting over what's small, we're going to lose and we deserve it. Simple as that. We'll lose. We deserve to lose. It's going to happen. So I tar that down. Ooh, ow. Again, liberties. Didn't realize this is just dead. Bop, bop. Done. Cutting points, liberties. This is a 5Q game. Sorry, 6Q game. This is what's keeping them up from being a Don. Lack of large points, cutting points, liberties. Yeah, see? Cutting points over and over and over again. Why are these 3 stones dead? Cutting points and liberties. These stones should not be dead. This is alive. There's no problems here. There's no problems here. What you plan gonna do? This? Now what? Group's fine. Not an issue. Alright, about this guy. 2 1Q games. I'm literally just like looking over here at the list, seeing who's playing, like in the 1-2Q area, and I'm clicking on them. That's all we're doing. I might not even edit out the downtime, just so you know that I'm not like cheating and cherry picking games here. All right, approach, good. Pincer, no reason to, but it's not the end of the world. Block in the wrong direction. That's bad. That's bad. Why would you do this, 1Q? Why would you do this? Play here instead. Now you got sente. Can play over here. Now we're developing. PogChamp. Said you played the wrong direction. Now you're gonna lose sente. Okay, this is getting awkward. So I don't personally like this one. I just like connecting. And I definitely don't like this because it's too far away. So this is white's going wrong on a lot of things. 1, direction of play, not nailing it. That's pain number 1. 2, his group needs a base because this is not influence. It's not connected. This is just a 3-stone wall that's trying to extend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases or so. Yeah, it's bad. That means black can literally play here whenever he wants and attack you. It's not good. Or black could be like, hey, I'm going to play this one. You'll defend it. And then I'm going to attack and build left-hand side hugely. And whites can do nothing about that. Right? So huge mistake in the opening. No reason to play mistake in the opening because we should know our Jiseki. He does not. There's no reason. There's no excuse. If you're trying to break to 1 Don, there's a Jiseki that you are playing in your game that you don't know. There's no excuse for it. 0. So here, doesn't know Jiseki, despite the fact that he picked it. White pincered. He knows his opponent's going into the 3-3. But this is nothing. So it's lazy. He just doesn't, he just didn't look it up. Right. So I could show you for like the next hour, game after game after game, whatever server, OGS, KGS, Pan the Net, Fox, whatever, of like Q players getting those little lovely core principles wrong. Not finding the big smooth on the board, handling cut points like a weirdo, and miscounting liberties all over the place. But rather than increase this video by an hour, let's go into really a strategy that you're probably also gonna do well with. And that is, of course, influence. Because whether or not you are allowing your opponents to build you a nice big ol' wall when you get invaded, or whether you are deciding to take sente when you get yourself invaded, you know you're being invaded and you're going to be given influence. You also know if they do not invade you, they're probably attaching to you and then choosing to give you a bunch of influence yet again. Influence is going to be in your future. Which is kind of insane, because it used to be there were a lot of people who actually built and tried to use things with influence, and that was a thing you had to contend with, especially when you had people playing, like I showed at the beginning, like low Chinese and mini Chinese and high Chinese and sometimes Sanrinsei and, you know, crazy frameworks of Kobayashi and a whole bunch of stuff. Try to go after influence. But since all of that is being seen less and less and less as people get their games reviewed by AI and adopt more of a territorial strategy, they're giving away influence more and more and more. So if you're good at at being able to utilize your influence and recognizing the benefits that it gives you, which in my opinion is easier to use than to remove. I mean, keep in mind, once upon a time, pro games looked like this, you know? Frameworks, black trying to build because he's going first, and white needing to know how to deal with this, as black aggressively takes influential variations and goes hog wild with them. Nowadays, your opponent's going to be giving them to you without you even having to fight and lean to build that kind of thing up. It's fantastic. So if you are able to use said influence, regardless of how you get it, either by them attaching to your corner and giving it to you, or just 3-3ing, sometimes double 3-3ing if I'm being completely honest, not that that makes me happy to say. If you can use influence even, you know, halfway decently, you're going to have a really easy time leveling up, because they're going to just dive into your strength, both literally and figuratively, and you get to just do whatever you want. It still blows my mind that this is now the meta. Because, like, the things I used to do to try to convince my opponent to give me walls that stretch half the board, like, I'd have to give up a lot. Third, sometimes even some fourth line territory just to get a wall like that. Nowadays, it's like they're all on clearance. You want a wall that stretches about half the board, they're gonna give it to you. Absolutely. And if you're good at using that, you're gonna go smooth sailing. If you're decent at using influence, you know where big points are on the board, you're not being dumb with your cut points, and you can, like, count to 3 with your liberties, you're gonna get down level. It's just gonna happen. The meta is completely aligning where, yeah, you just get these things and you get that. It's amazing. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you're an idiot. It's not that easy. I don't believe you. Nope, not first. Nah, I don't believe you. I understand. Which brings about the new series that I'm doing this year. Some of you know where I'm going with this. Some of you who are intelligent are like, wait, is he about to say what I think he's about to say? Yeah, he's kind of going to. I'm at some point, I already have tentatively have one volunteer, even though they don't know that they volunteered for this. I'm going to take a player, who is not down level right now. And they're going to be the star of a new sub-series that I have in my basic series, where I'm going to work with them on the things that I've just showed. They'll be making appearances. I don't think they know that either right now. They're in for a surprise this week. Let's just say that. I just need to secure some volunteers for them to play against. And yeah, I'm going to see how I can take. I'm not going to mention any names right now or ranks because they might back out and I'll have to find another victim. Volunteer, sorry. And we're going to see if we can get them closer to non-level. Just going over the things that I have said now. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun this week. Or maybe not this week, but this month and next month and what have you. I think it's going to be a fun series. How high can they get? Will they be able to learn these principles? I don't know. I don't know. But it's going to be a lot of fun finding out. For the rest of you, can look forward to that series. Can look forward to my basics in general. And yeah, good luck getting done in 2022. Hopefully you have some ideas of things you need to work on in order to get there. And you can get there. Don't think that you can't. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, everybody.